everyone. I'm Gary J. Russen. Welcome to a brand new addition to the GJRB family in the GJRB family of Gary Russen programs. This is the Gary Russen program.
Saturday Extra.
All you gotta do is contact Gary.Russen on Skype, or just chat with Gary Russen with the GJRB Spreaker public site by clicking the balloon icon on the GJRB widget. And now, the Gary Russen program.
Saturday Extra.
On GJRB.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere across America and around the world on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm Gary J. Russen. Welcome to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. We got a great show lined up for you this afternoon. Hope you'll stay with me. Got some really good stuff here. Some news, talk, pretty much the afternoon of good stuff here on a Saturday. It's kind of a laid-back, relaxed type of show. A little bit of music, a little bit of talk, and even a guest coming into our Spreaker studios this afternoon by phone from Pennsylvania. Our good friend here at GJRB Online, Ben Usman, will be joining us, and hopefully we'll get down there. I went on the air, of course, to bring our pre-stuff so that I could go into that expanded thing, and had an empty post, and there was already a player. There's already someone hit that one button, so there's somebody out there. I would do that only because I have this thing where I run it for like about 35 minutes offline, and then when I plug it in, I get extra time. Although Spreaker tells me I only do 45 minutes, even though it says an hour and somewhat minutes. But, you know, when it's all over, it's usually about an hour and 20 somewhat minutes. But still, Spreaker tells me it's 45, so, I mean, it's the plan, but it just keeps me on longer. Anyway, glad you can be with me today. We got a great show lined up for you, and we have our guest this afternoon. We've got a lot of really neat stuff. Interesting thing happened to me while I'm on the air. Before I hit the air, the little plug, because I have an adapter that plugs into my headphones in, to plug into the radio, a headphone jack on the side, so I can, have my monitor, listen to myself through my over-the-air monitor, and that darn little adapter plug dropped into my wastebasket. So now later on, I'm going to have to, during some break, I have to dig through that puppy and pull it up. So I cannot use anything off the other board because I can't plug it in because I have the adapter in another plug. So it's just, I got to use a break and go into my, get another garbage bag and put everything in there until I reach it. So I have to get handfuls of trash and put it in the bag and until I get to it. So I'll have to do that later. I don't know all the time today, but we'll see what we can do. Anyway, welcome to the program. Enough of this craziness, right? Yeah, interesting stuff going on in the news lately. President Trump now deciding that he's going to take all of the refugees coming over the border and put them into sanctuary cities. Put them in a sanctuary city. Now, here's the deal on that. The Democrats are all in an uproar now because he's done this. Okay, now, these are the same people who cried and complained because he wants to close the borders. He wants to not let them over here, and the illegals would get deported, right? We all in an uproar and all the whole bit. Now, all of a sudden, President Trump says we're going to keep them here and put them into sanctuary cities. Which would probably mean the families and will be able to get back together. And the children will be able to get back together. And this whole thing with the caged children and all this other stuff kind of go under the rug, whatever the case may be. And, a lot of people are not too happy about it. Imagine that. So here we go again. I think it's just, again, the liberals who aren't happy with anything are going to gripe about everything, no matter what this man does. Okay? That's just all there is to it. It doesn't matter what this man does. He's still dirt. Okay? He could do everything the Democrats want him to do, and still he would be dirt. Okay? So, this is how I see it. They're not happy with anything this man does, no matter what he does. They're just going to keep on, they're just not happy until he's out of office. So it doesn't matter what he does to change things. It's still not going to make him happy. It's that simple. They're not happy no matter what he does. He can change his mind and go liberal and they still won't like him. It's just that simple. We'll be talking about that this afternoon here on GGRB Online, plus other things, and we'll see where Ben comes calling in. But for right now, I'm going to, until then, bring you some news. So let's take a look at the news at this time. And we're going to start with that news story about President Trump, who now says that, I guess, the liberals, like I said, they're not going to be happy until they get their way. He's out of office. I mean, they're not going to be pleased no matter what he does. And imagine that. Before that, there's a deadline set now. So the IRS says Trump has to deliver his tax returns, or he cannot run for the 2020 elections. Okay, he has to cough up his tax returns. If he doesn't, he will not qualify for the for campaigning for the 2020 elections. So you see, here we go again, right? You're going to find all kinds of ways to make sure this man doesn't run again. Okay? Crazy. It really is. I mean, they're going to find something on this man. They're going to do something to make sure that he doesn't. He has to cough up his tax returns, or he doesn't get to run in the election. Yeah. Wow. Just amazing. But that's what it is. According to Bloomberg, sightings of leading obligations, the House Ways and Means Committee, Chairman Richard Neal set the IRS on April 23rd deadline to hand over Donald Trump's tax returns before potential resorting to other legal options. Neal's a Massachusetts Democrat, sent in the second letter to the Internal Revenue Service on Saturday, asking for 6 years of Trump's personal and business returns, citing the section of the tax code that allows the chairman of the tax committee to request returns of any taxpayers, including the president. Neal wrote, quote, please know that if you fail to comply, your future will be interpreted as a denial by your request. He sent this letter earlier to this month to the IRS Commissioner, Charles Riddick, asking that the returns be turned over by April 10th. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin responded by that deadline, saying that he needed more time to review the request and consult with the Department of Justice. In a letter, Mnuchin, I'm going to pronounce it Mnchin, not exactly how to pronounce that, so I'm kind of going with Mnuchin, maybe the M silent. Anyway, he also questioned the scope of the Congress Investigative Authority of the Neal, stated the reason for the request, and that he wants them to ensure that the IRS is properly audited. President's, but they say, he says he can't turn it in because it's audited. But the Democrats say, yes, you can turn it in. So, I don't know. Your thoughts on that one? I mean, it's interesting. We'll be asking Ben about that one, because that is a very interesting story there. Okay, doing a little bit of news here as we get started on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. I'm always glad doing this show on Saturday. It's usually about the second Saturday of the month. We will do this in rotation with another program. I don't know yet. I don't know. We got to see what here, because I'm rotating a lot of my programs right now and finding various things. So let me see. I can't find that story again on the president's allowing the, but we'll play that story later from Reuters. Anyway, let's see what else is in the news today. Kim Jong-un, Pyongyang, and North Korea. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said that he is open to a third summit with President Trump, but set the year's end as a deadline for Washington's offer to mutually acceptable terms for an agreement to salvage a high-stakes nuclear diplomacy. The North state-run media stated this. Kim made comments during the speech Friday at a session of the North Korea's rubber stamp parliament, which made a slew of personal changes and bolstered his diplomatic lineup for stalemated negotiations with the United States. His speech came hours after Trump visited North Korea. President Moon Jae-in said to Washington an agreement and an importance for nuclear talks with North Korea. U.S. dialogue unilaterally is pushing his demands, doesn't fit us, and we don't have no interest in it, according to Kim in his speech. According to North Korean Central News Agency, Kim blamed the collapse of his summit with Trump in February on what was described as a unilateral demand by the United States, which he said raised questions over whether Washington has genuinely willingness to improve relations. But Kim said his personal relationship with Trump remains good and that they could exchange letters at any time. Trump responded to these remarks by saying that he agreed with Kim, but their relationship also expressed desire for another summit. So there's possibility another summit will be in the works for Donald Trump, for President Trump and Kim Jong-un. So I wonder what's going to come of that. You have to wonder about that one. So we're going to talk more about that. Meanwhile, let's see what other news stories are brewing in Washington, some of the other stories. This story is, of course, the one I want to talk about today, is the congresswoman who's a Muslim who stated that President Trump's tweet on video fanning the flames of the record right-wing uproar over a comment by Representative, and I really don't know how to pronounce this, I'm going to probably butcher it, Ilhan Omar, who's a Democrat out of Minnesota. She's a Muslim, about the September 11 terrorists.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something.
You have no idea right now.
I have another one. Another plane just hit.
Some people did something.
Oh my goodness. There is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon.
Some people did something.
It just flew straight into it.
Okay, so I don't know, it's something that, anyway, Trump tweeted about this video, which alternates between an out-of-context remark Omar made during a speech last month and the footage of the terrorist attacks, which attempted to characterize her as a dismissive of the tragedy. And it's unclear whether or not Trump's administration made the video or if it was harvested from another account. Trump joins a chorus of conservative media voices who have tried to paint Omar, saying that some people, quote, some people did something during the speech. You heard that. The speech is being flippant about the September 11th. In reality, Omar was speaking about why the Council in American Islamic Relations ramped up its efforts to combat Islamophobia in the wake of the attacks. CHAIR, CHAIR, which is the organization supporting Islamics, founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us are starting to lose access to our civil liberties. Omar, a freshman lawmaker, is one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress during the speech to CHAIR members. The video Trump posted included footage of the planes crashing into the towers, despite the broadcast networks moving away from showing that specific imagery in recent years. Research has shown that just watching that footage from September 11th attacks can be enough to trigger clinically diagnosable stress responses in people, even those who were nowhere near the attacks when it happened. Several high-profile lawmakers called Trump's actions fellow freshman Representative Alexandria Cortez, the so-called Democrat out of New York, who I believe is still a bartender, but that's my opinion according to what I've been hearing from Mike Reagan, that she's put in there as an actress, stated that argued that Trump is putting Omar's life in danger. How is he doing that? Really? How is he doing that? Tell me. I'd like to know. How is he putting his life in danger? That doesn't make sense. I mean, really, it doesn't. That's kind of a stupid statement. We'll have more on that. Capitol staff report harassment by lawmakers. We'll have that story coming up. And let's see. Democrat sets April, and we'll talk more about the President Trump's IRS tax returns. We'll have all that and a whole lot more this afternoon on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Glad you could be with me today. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date in the news throughout the show, because this is GJRB's original news talk program, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. Glad that you can be joining me today on a great afternoon of talk radio. And Saturday is rarely a day when I would plan a talk show on the air. But the Gary Russen program is one of those shows, like I said the other day when we had our regular show on Tuesday, that we have not had the Gary Russen's regular program on since February. And I really like to keep this show going. And, I guess I just took a little break from the news, because sometimes I guess I get aggravated about a lot of things that are going on in the news. And, so once in a while, maybe take a break from doing talk radio, but I love doing this program. And I like talking about what's going on in the news. And so I decided to add a Saturday program called the Gary Russen Program Saturday Extra. Now, the other shows, now I think I got too many Gary Russen programs on the air. So I decided what I was going to do is just have three of the Gary Russen programs that I have on the air, four actually, that count the video, which I'll be bringing back. I'll tell you about that later. The video version of our show is coming up. But what I'm going to do is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, this one, the Gary Russen program, the original Gary Russen program that's been on the air since this station started and this network started, and the Gary Russen program Evening Edition, which I'm setting for a Thursday night. I'm going to schedule a Thursday night, possibly in the fourth week of the month. I'm thinking of every fourth Thursday, I would put in a Gary Russen program Evening Edition with spontaneous rotation involved as well too. And I'm going to be recording a new GJRB schedule update podcast. The one that's on there right now, I haven't really listened to. I should have listened through it again, because there's going to be some changes again, because I'm going to keep on doing podcasts until I change it. The GJRB schedule update podcast usually is for whenever I have to cancel a few programs and I reschedule them. I usually do a program announcing some program changes. Basically what that's all about. So every so often I will go through and play that back. If it doesn't make sense, which the probably one doesn't too much, confusing my listeners, I haven't really gone through that to see if there's any comments in the comment section of that program. I'm going to delete it, because I have a new GJRB schedule update podcast coming up. And a year ago today, of course, was a Friday, and I was laying in the hospital all day long and recovering from my brain surgery. So, and also a year ago, was it today or a year ago today, something I want to talk about with a lot of people out there, especially those of you out there who were Art Bell fans. It was a year ago to this very day that Art Bell had died. It was confirmed that Art Bell had died. And we're going to do a little Art Bell tribute here. So I'm hoping that Ben, I think he said he listened to Art Bell when he was on. So we're going to talk a little bit about Art Bell, some of the memories. And Dave Scott last night had a great show on Spaced Out Radio, talking about Art Bell. It was a real good show. And he talked a lot. They brought back some great memories of when Art Bell did his show. Absolutely fabulous program last night. And they were talking a lot about Art Bell. It was great. So a really good applause there for Dave Scott on an excellent coast to coast show. Coast to coast. Yeah, excellent Spaced Out Radio show yesterday about Art Bell. That was absolutely incredible. That was great. Great tribute show. And I know that I think George Norrie had one yesterday too. I just didn't get a chance to hear it. But I'm hoping maybe they put that on their YouTube channel. It'd be fabulous if they did, because that'd be really great. Meanwhile, you're listening to the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show. And if you have some comments you'd like to put in on that, you can join me, and we'll see what we can do this afternoon here on GJRB Online. But right now it's time to take a look at our weather on the 5s. Take a look at what's going on nationwide weather and see what's happening. And my weather on the 5s disappeared, so we're going to pop that back up. I don't know why it jumped out, but there it is. There is a strong area of low pressure now will develop across the southern plains Saturday. It's going to move in the northeastward direction across the Ohio Valley on Sunday. Severe thunderstorms likely in the east, along from East Texas across the Arkansas, Arizona, Mississippi, and Alabama today. We're going to follow those storms. A few strong tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail, and the possibility of a threat will stretch all the way into the Ohio Valley and into the southeast on Sunday. And we'll take a look at some of those areas. I'm looking at some of the maps now. Some different colors down south. Oh, brother. Yellow, which indicates some tornado watches. Some tornado watches in some areas. Let's see. It looks like some tornado watches in Texas. And I'm sure that looks like that's pretty close to our friend there, Black Dragons Radio. BJ, it looks like that's in your neck of the woods. So we're going to take a look at that coming up in the next half hour. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 55 minutes past the hour on all talk shows. And, of course, when we get into an interview segment or I get wound up and need to rant or whatever the case may be and we don't get past that mark, then we have weather on the 5s anytime ending in 5. 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, or 55 minutes past the hour on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Here on Spreaker, GJRB Online. Of course, we bring you the best in news talk and conversation throughout the afternoon. And hoping that we'll be talking to Ben maybe next hour. And we'll be talking a lot about what's going on in the news. Got a lot of really good stuff on the way. So hope you'll stay with me today here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker for the best in internet conversation. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Thank you for tuning in. And coming up in the next half hour, we'll take some more look at some more news, and we'll find some more interesting things to talk about. And your comments are welcome. When we return, you're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on GJRB. Be right back.